Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers. I am KibbyRose. I am Authortubes lesbian psychic stoner. It is March 19th at 5 p.m. I'm here to fill your afternoon, evening, whatever, a couple of hours of your day and entertain you with some horoscopy things, some rants, and maybe some readings. So let me roll the opener and let's get on with it. All right, so just a quick rundown for everybody who's new, for some of my students, and just in case you want to know, we're going to cover some personal rants. It is my mother's birthday, so I'm going to be maybe shouting out a little bit to her, and I got a couple questions for you all. Then we're going to go into a 10-minute sprint to prep for the day. In the planet influences, we are going to discuss the Ostara celebration, which is going on tomorrow, which is, by the way, happy spring equinox. And then we're going into a 20-minute sprint. After that, we've got a lot of current events to catch up on as well. I mean, the amount of planetary energy changes that are coming up with Neptune and everything else it might be a little bit longer stream than we're used to, because after that 20-minute sprint with current events, we go into horoscopes and readings, and I've got some requests for some readings. I've got some client readings. Guys, we're piled up. I wondered what would happen if I made a stream that was just like a drinky fun stream and how much work I'd catch up on. I found out the hard way. So I think I ran the opener already, but yeah, we're going to jump right into our little situation here with, first of all, jump into perfect segue. Actually, we're going to jump into the comments so we can say hi to everybody. Hey, just finished tomorrow's video. Everybody's been sick all week. I've been wondering, because I was like, okay, I'm going to tell you the truth, Cora. I have been in good energy, good spirits last couple of days. Well, kind of. The alcohol kind of kicked my butt on Monday, but I was thinking of calling you yesterday, checked in with you, with your angels, and they were like, nope, no. And I was just like, okay, we'll check in later to why, but now I understand why. If everybody's been sick, I can understand why your angels were like, she's got too much on her hands right now. So just know that, yeah, I was going to check in with you. So I'm sorry to hear that everybody's been sick all week. The good news is we've got some good energies coming in when it comes to focus of family, focus of family, anyway, focus of family, because Neptune is shifting a little bit. We've got good energy in the moon that's shifting into Sagittarius. So we've got some good energy coming in for you, Cora, when it comes to the moon and everything. But first of all, oh yeah, it's like a cold that keeps on going. And I think that's what's happening is our immune systems changed so much because of the wonderful thing that we all went through, that the viruses have gotten worse. So now if a household gets it, it seems to just be passed around. You're not the only household with kids that I have seen this happen with. So, but getting into that, family and household and everything, I am going to give my mom 1 year shy of 3/4 of a century shout out for her birthday today, because today is her actual birthday. And I love her. And she's not big on the whole celebration thing. She just likes, like, she likes it quiet. She likes it calm down. I want to do something big for her 75th, but we'll see if we even can. So I just wanted to do that little personal shout out. And then I wanted, and Cora's saying happy birthday, just in case my mom's watching. She's probably not, but she does well. I think she's part of the rewatch group, but who knows? The next thing that I want to go into before we jump into the 10-minute sprint to get everything set up, because there's a lot that we need to discuss in regards to the planetary influences. Like, oh my gosh, you guys, like, whoa, there's a lot going on. I was thinking about, and this is why I'm asking, I want everybody in who's currently watching and everybody in the replay crew to vote. And you can vote in the comments. Just put yes or no. You don't even have to reference what. I'll already know because it'll be this episode. But I was thinking of doing advent calendars for Christmas, like doing 1 or 2 a month for like October, November, and December. I'm asking now because I kind of have to budget wise. But I thought it would be something interesting and fun to do because all the other channels seem to do advent calendars. I love watching advent calendar unboxings. Roxanne is one of my favorite unboxers, and I watch her all the time for fun. So, and she's still unboxing advent calendars from 2024. So it was an idea that came across my head. So if you are interested, put a yes in the comments. If not, put a no. If you don't care either way, just put hi. Comments help boost my channel, so either way you'll be helping, like pushing the like, subscribe button and all that fun stuff. So we're going to jump into a 10-minute sprint, and I'm going to warn you guys when we cover planetary influences, okay, it's going to be a minute. So for my Authortube friends, this is probably going to be one of those times that I get to be that rambling voice in the back of your ear, and I'll make it entertaining. For my students, your hand is going to hurt by the time we're finished taking notes because we've got a lot of stuff that we got to cover. So we're going to jump into hi, Cora. So yes, with WrestleMania coming up, I'm having my husband help me, so I have one. Aw, yay. So, okay, so, and that's, okay, when is WrestleMania coming up? Because, okay, anyway, too much information and not the right time. So we're going to jump into a sprint. And 10 minutes on the clock. This is just to get, guys, don't even worry about your notebooks. Just grab notes and paper and don't even worry, like pencil and eraser. Don't even try to put it in pen right now. Okay. So 10 minutes on the clock, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes. 3, 2, 1. And that's the end of that sprint. All right, so first of all, if any of you ever wonder what kind of frequency I run on, the video I just showed, also because Amy asked, is what I listen to. It's actually, if you go into under my playlist, you'll see live stream videos or whatever. That's the playlist. That's the video. You can kind of identify which video I'm listening to by that way with the video. So anyway, in case you're wondering what I'm rocking out to while we're on sprint sessions. So I'm going to take a deep breath here because we've got a lot. I'm going to cover. So for my clients, this is what we're going to cover. In this section, we're going to cover the planet energy overviews for all the planets. Then we're going to cover the planetary aspects and what is changing. Then I'm going to do the card pulls for Michaela, Gal Gadot, and Wendy Williams per request. Then we will or actually prior to the card pulls, we'll discuss Ostara. Then after Ostara, we will do the card pulls. Then we'll go into a sprint. So that is what we're going to cover. I've already started the card pulls for Michaela. So we have hers already. Also, I got, if you can kind of see it behind me, this was my reminder. I got my Girl Scout cookies. So this is the young lady. I don't know her name. She didn't have her name on here. It was just simply Angelina. But Angelina in Spokane, thank you very much for my cookies. I've already dived into all of them and started devouring them. So I just wanted to give you a little shout out and say thank you. So I supported the Girl Scouts. I have been supporting the Girl Scouts since my best friend, since I was 2 years old, Kristen, was in Girl Scouts. So I remember her going around with her and helping her do cookie deliveries and stuff. So I was never in Girl Scouts, but I did have a bestie who was. So planetary overviews. Are you all ready for this? Okay, we have quite a few coming. Here's why. This is why I keep repeating this. I am going to give you 2 moon phases that are happening because we are shifting into a new moon tomorrow. Today's the last day of this moon phase, and I didn't give it to you Monday. So we're going to cover that and then the one we're shifting into. And then I'm going to give you both Neptune aspects because we are shifting into Neptune on the 30th. And we're shifting signs in Neptune on the 30th. And I want you to be prepped and aware for it. Okay. And then after that, we've got a lot of aspects that are strongly influencing a lot of stuff right now. The good news is Neptune shift is going to help with everybody. Basically, when I was meditating on Neptune shift, my angels kept saying, everybody's going to take a nice deep breath and kind of calm down a little bit. So society is going to calm down a little bit as we shift as Neptune shifts. And if you pay attention to Stefan Barnes's channel, like you should be, you will notice that he has a video that just came up about a huge plasma hit that will be occurring. And I'm going to be covering, I have to make note of that. I will be covering the effects of that plasma hit as it occurs, because I think it's important because a lot of the influences that we feel from the sun does have to do with the fluctuations of magnetics, plasma. We're influenced by it all, guys. Energy, vibrations, it all. Technically, we're not solids. We're all just tiny little particles vibrating on a minute level, and everything influences us, and we've got to remember that. So I'm going to go through this as quick as I can. Bear with me, guys. Just remember, during the sprint, you can always rewind and write down. So, Sun in Pisces, which we are shifting into Aries on tomorrow. And we will be covering that. I have that coming up. We just have a lot to cover in a very short amount of time because we also changed months with the Celtic tree month. But we're going to be shifting into Aries soon, but we're going to keep it on Pisces for now. More sensitive, compassionate mode of interaction, subtle emotions with secret depths, aware of connection with the divine. Moon in Scorpio, which is today. Intense and psychic emotions, dark and withdrawn perspective to nature or in nature. Strong, intuitive, and attuned to feelings with deep emotions. Possible eruption of hidden emotions with strong need for connections. Thursday and Friday, our moon moves into Sagittarius, which is joyful and exploratory emotions, wandering free-spirited type energies with impulsive and restless instincts, idealistic, enthusiastic, and optimistic energies. Okay, Mercury in Aries, retrograde ends. We're in retrograde right now, but it ends on the 7th of April. Mental pursuits break down, best use for inner reflection. Don't make new decisions or start new projects. Extremely active mental energies and expression of thoughts in dynamic ways, stronger ability to argue, keen powers of intellect. Venus in Aries, remember we're also in retrograde until the 12th of April. Impulsive and strong urges in love, bolder in romance with chance to make moves and enjoy the chase, potential to be hasty in habits with an overwhelming intensity in emotions. Mars in Cancer, focus on domestic and emotional security, greater urgency to protect loved ones, and hypersensitivity. Jupiter in Gemini, opportunity for good fortune, stimulation and new experiences, curiosity, and witty energies. Saturn in Pisces, pull to reflect on past experiences, oneness with the divine. Uranus in Taurus, sudden changes in finance, innovative energies with practical applications. Neptune in Pisces, greater emphasis on all things mystical, magic, imaginative, and spiritual will be embraced collectively. On March 30th, we shift into Aries, which means creates a ripple in the collective consciousness and sets up a new generational cycle to work with. Starts to focus on our personal identities away from the collective. Humans humans overall will take a deep breath. So kind of this temper tantrum type throwing energy that you've seen a lot of, it actually might cool down with the influence of Neptune and Aries starting March 30th. So for those that have been overwhelmed by social energies right now, you might get you might feel a reprieve starting March 30th or sooner if you're sensitive. Okay. Pluto in Aquarius, significant changes in humanity that begin with sudden endings. Level of progress will be extraordinary. Chiron in Aries, wounded healer, acknowledgement of concealed traumas and opportunities for growth and deep understandings. Now for the aspects. And remember, I started covering the aspects because you will see it again. The aspects seem to be the one thing that my angels have started attuning to more when it comes to the daily horoscopes. Okay. So Sun, Trin in Moon, nice overall energies, finding the path to success and through troublesomes to success. Sun conjunction with Neptune, idealism in the world of imagination and spirituality. Heightened sensitivities. Neptune is changing signs, and this is the end of its stay in Pisces. So that's everything that was Pisces is kind of like everything you learned during its time in Pisces is going to become overly aware, basically, in the next couple days until it moves into Aries. Okay. Moon sextile Pluto. Cooperation between emotions and deep regeneration. Everyone is in tune with deeper needs with profound healing aspects. Mars square with Chiron. Enhanced actions based on hidden walled issues can lead to acceptance and deep healing. Sudden sextile in Uranus, global need to break free from the old with innovative and togetherness and can lead to controlled breakthroughs. This is also, if you've listened, for those of mine that use the worldviews and not just the horoscopes, do we see why I said that this shift, this change, it's unstoppable, it's unpreventable, even the planets have it backed. Powerful force towards partnership. Venus sextile with Pluto. Powerful force towards partnerships and matters in love and money can either heal or damage more. So we have a lot with Mars square with Chiron, with Saturn sextile with Uranus, with Moon sextile with Pluto, with Moon trin with Neptune. There's so much influence in this change that is currently happening right now. And that's why also, if you see it, there's a lot of people who are either A, finding stability within themselves, because that's what they have done, is literally found stability within and happiness within their own bubble, their own self. And they're kind of riding this wave, just kind of like, okay, okay. Or you're seeing the opposite. Those that have found nothing, who have found their personal security in the social aspect of things, it's kind of falling apart. There's a lot of other details that are going on with this, but global need to break free from the old with innovation and a togetherness that can lead to controlled breakthroughs. Enhanced action based on hidden walled issues can lead to acceptance and deep healing. Powerful force towards cooperation between emotions and deep regeneration. Everyone is in tune with deeper needs and profound healing. Like, there's a lot going on here. Cooperation between emotions and idealism with attunement with cosmic awareness, both positive and negative. Like I said, guys, we're seeing so much of these influences coming in overall. And you're going to see it even more when I do the horoscopes. So, and I find it also very interesting that kind of all of this new, renewed perspective, new innovative thinking, deep renewed regeneration just so happens to coincide also with the one holiday that is about rebirth, reawakening, change, embracing change, growing from the old, in sprouting, like springtime, literally sprouting from the old and creating the new generation. And I think it's very interesting that a lot of this change, both in societal and a lot, if you're paying attention to it on personal, has been influenced everywhere. And it's coalescing with not only the planets and the changes in energy and the influences from the sun and the solar mass ejections, to the trends and the squares of all the planets, to literally the seasons. We could, for a lot of those that struggle with right now, I understand that you're trying to grasp to some sort of realization that everything's okay. Here's your realization that everything's okay. The entire universe is kind of trying to tell you, hey, this is all lining up. This is all moving exactly how it's supposed to go. The only thing you can do is embrace it. So on that note, we're going to cover a little bit about Ostara. And if for those of you that are wondering how to set up for the ritual for tomorrow, go back to my Friday stream. And also I took note from what Brian said. I am going to go back and rename all the streams so the date is in the header. Okay, so I understand that a lot of my client, Brian, evidently, and a lot of clients in the background were discussing this, how they were having difficulty trying to find the stream that I was talking about. So Brian brought this to my attention and he was correct. So it's a lot of work on my end, but it's worth it if you guys are able to actually reference things better. So just know I am going to relabel it, but you'll want to go back to the March 14th stream, which I'm going to be doing this tomorrow, so please forgive me. But that is where you're going to be able to find the information of how to actually prep for the ritual. This is just a little bit of background so you know why we celebrate it, along with the spring equinox and Easter with the Christian holidays. And we're going to tie in a little bit. Thank you, angels. We're going to tie a little bit into why we like also the Christian religion. So Ostara is it started out as a pagan a solar holiday honoring the spring's warmth, light from the sun, and the awakening of the earth. Pagan celebrations during this holidays have themes of balance, renewal, and rebirth, as we mentioned in all the aspects of the planetary aspects. The symbol of Ostara are spring flowers, fairies, butterflies, rabbits, eggs. If you can't see it, those are eggs up there. I have my little green bunny rabbit right here. We have all of our pastel colored stones with our other eggs. We have our mushrooms. We have our little frog with him chilling out with his eggs. So, and our little bunny ears that you actually can't see that well. So, the history of Ostara actually stretches back over 60,000 years. The pagan version changed to Easter because of the word Ostara, the goddess Estra. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Gosh, if you know me, I struggle with names, so please forgive me, and was co-opted by the Christians to take over the most pagan of festivals. Ostara is the pagan springtime festival of new birth and renewal. It's primarily a female name, English origin that means spring, dawn. It was a Germanic goddess of fertility and sunrise, celebrated during the spring equinox for both the, oh wow, I missed information there. That jumped. The name is derived from Austria and is related to the word Easter. So I have where it's extended its roots from, but guys, okay, I haven't said it before and I'm just going to rant about it now. I did this stupid update without thinking. And when I went back to all my files, they had reset to the original date. So there's some information that I noticed even on my St. Patrick's Day stream that was missing. I was very upset. So forgive me. Originally known as spring equinox, the word Easter parallels the German word Austrian, which is derived from, again, Ostara, the Anglo-Saxon goddess of the spring. In German stories, Ostara is believed to have been responsible for bringing about spring each year. What is the difference between Beltane and Ostara? Because, yes, they are very close together. Beltane is a joyful fertility festival that welcomes the height of spring and celebrates the divine feminine, Persephone, masculine and masculine coming together in a fruitful union. Ostara is celebrated by the coloring and decorating of eggs and the celebration of the rebirth and the renewal of spring and fertility, performing rituals that honor the balance of light and dark. So that's kind of a little rundown on Ostara. For anybody who does want a reading, you're more than welcome to read the little banner below in order to get a reading. There's also information in the opener or in the more section below on how we do go about this. For anybody who does want a reading, I'm more than happy to do a reading for you. That's why we have all the information for you in order to do it. So feel free to send your information any way you want to, and we'll take care of that. Which reminds me, I'm going to double check because Amy usually sends me a payment about now with some sort of, hey, can you do? So, and then we're going to do the card pulls I said that we're going to do for Michaela, Gal Gadot, and Wendy Williams. And this is for Brian. And I swear this man makes bets on these people. That's why he asks about this. Okay, so for Michaela, I don't know what is going on with her, but she had the 6 of coins, the 9 of wands, and the 6 of wands. So, and whatever is going on with her is just, it's whether good or bad, it's not really going to affect her, which is very interesting to me. So, basically, yeah, from what I can see, it's not really going to affect her. Okay, 6 of Pentacles, support. She's got support, financial assistance, charity, generosity. So, yeah, 4 of Wands. And I just do this just in case because, yeah. Because truthfully, from what I can see, whatever she's going through, whether it fails or not, it's not really going to affect her. Yeah. Stability, weddings, organized social events, and a vacation after a period of hard work. Whatever she's, or that's not 4 of Wands. Sorry. 9 of Wands. I had it right the first time. Come back here. Perseverance, dedication, resource of strength, can-do attitude, defense. So, did she just launch something? Because the last I heard, she was part of the makeup or the eye scandal, eye makeup scandal, mascara scandal. That's what it was. Okay, and then the 6 of Wands. Success, victory, fame, recognition. Yeah. So whatever it is that she's doing, she's going to be successful at it. It's so I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if she launched a new project. So I'm going to have to do some research on that, because my gut's telling me now that, yeah, she must have launched something new. She was working on something. Is that why she disappeared? It might be why she dipped out of the limelight. It's not makeup. All right. I'm going to have to do some research on that. Okay, so we're going to actually mark right here. Research. Okay, so Gal Gadot. I already know what's going on with Gal Gadot, but let's find out what her future holds. Before I turn the cards, I'm just going to say right now, I'm feeling the same thing for Gal. She's got, right now, even if Snow White bombs the way it's going to bomb, it's kind of like they're showing me like this. As far as Rachel Zegler falls, Gal Gadot's going to take off. So let's see if that's what the cards. Guys, I'm not wrong. So the Fool in reverse, which obviously, yeah, she has been navigating, Gal Gadot has been navigating this thing so wise, so smart, so strategically, which I'm not surprised. I mean, when you've dealt with situations like she has, especially in like military type circumstances, yeah, you're gonna learn strategy. You learn when to keep your mouth shut and everything else. Okay, and then we have the Six of Swords. Come here. Which is transition, healing, travel, overcoming emotions with the mind, which is what she is doing right now. Because in order to navigate the chaos that has now become a project that you put your heart and soul in, like Gal Gadot did. And then she's got the Knight of Spears. So yes, inevitably she's coming out on top. Or the Knight of Swords. Conflict, sudden change, confident speaker, focus. Yeah. All knights are concerned with movement. Can describe or predict something that manifests at lightning speed. Like I said she's going to take off as far. Yeah. So it's going to be conflict. It's going to be sudden change, but it's confidence. And it's focused and it's travel. So like I said, I have a feeling that even Snow White could bomb and Gal Gadot will be just fine. All right. And then the last one was Wendy Williams. And her angels actually wanted me to do the Crystal Spirits for some reason. Simply because she is a lighter energy than both Michaela and Gal Gadot, which I agree with. And the Crystal Spirit cards seem to resonate better with lighter energies. So this is for Wendy. They want me to split that again. All right. Wendy will win from what I'm hearing. Okay, so we've got Aqua Aura Quartz in reversed. Not even going to try to pronounce it. Quartz. And then Amethyst. So we've got 6, 31, and 4. 6 turned right to it. Okay. Connecting to infinite potential, a renewed sense of purpose, wonder, and awe in reverse, which makes sense because with what they've done to Wendy, I'm not surprised. So the next one is Lumineer Quartz. Okay. Vision, big picture thinking, unblocking the secrets of infinite possibilities. So what she's doing right now is exactly what she's supposed to be doing. That is very, very interesting. I will get to your question, Cora. I already have an answer to that. That is something I already actually meditated on. That's funny you ask. Okay, so for the amethyst is familiarity, unconscious habits, old patterns in need of being released. Okay, so here's the thing. That means this is what I question, because my gut instinct was that Wendy Williams maybe had a little bit of self-control issues when it came to alcohol. And unfortunately, that's kind of what it's showing, is that what she's doing is supposed to be right, but inevitably here's the thing. I don't think she needs a conservatorship, but it sounds like that she needs kind of somebody who's going to, a partner of some sorts that's going to be like, you know what, put down the bottle. I'm getting rid of the alcohol. It sounds like Wendy does need a little bit better structure in her life. She doesn't have the self-control yet to moderate herself, but often people with addictions, yeah, I've been there, done that. I'm the last person who's going to judge somebody how they act under an addiction. I know how hard that is to kick. But yeah, she's going to very much, maybe not necessarily such a lockdown situation. Maybe she needs more of like a outpatient type scenario. That's what I'm feeling. And then Cora, now will Lilo and Stitch save Disney? Here's what I'm seeing with that. I actually meditated on that. Yes and no. Lilo and Stitch is going to be their saving grace this year, but they're not going to. Here's why. And this is something that I found out. Forbes actually exposed Disney. Okay. And this is where, me, once I get one piece of information, it often leads more. Okay. So the piece of information that I got was from, and this is of course I have to remember their name, WDW Pro, the Pro Disney, that Park Place. Thank you, angels. That Park Place is where I got this information from. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Forbes reported that supposedly the reported cost from Disney was only $625 million, and that was even after advertising costs. So this total budget for Disney after advertising costs that was reported for Rise of Skywalker was $625 million. The actual cost on the taxes that Forbes got a hold of was $582 million in just cost, and then another $250 million in advertising, which means that the Rise of Skywalker cost Disney over $800 million to make. It only brought in $120 million, somewhat. Now, Disney is reporting that Snow White only cost $300 million to make. If we're going by what has actually happened in the past and previous things, Disney's not being honest with either themselves or their shareholders about what the cost of things are. And here's another thing. If you're looking at Disney, yes, their stocks have kind of remained the same. However, with inflation, Disney's stocks should have gone up. For Disney's stocks to have remained the same with inflation, that means they've bombed. They've lost money as a company. So there's a lot of manipulation in numbers that is going on behind the scenes here for Disney to massively manipulate their investors. However, it's not going to work, because Disney it's going to end up that Disney is going to cost billions in the end. And with the way Rachel Zegler has literally destroyed that movie, and how they are desperately pulling, Rise of Skywalker was actually a pretty good success, considering on the front of things. It didn't have the absolute debacle that it's having with that Snow White is having with Rachel Zegler. So there's just a lot here when I looked at it where I was like, Disney, seriously. And here's another thing. Dana Walden, if they put him into place, literally tank. The whole company is going to tank. It's just any meditation that I see of putting that person in place, like the company, you might as well just throw it to the wolves. They're The problem is Disney right now is so desperate because they've lost so much money that they're focused so much on making money that they've lost the whole reason on and foothold as to what gave them and made them money in the first place. And that's why they're failing. They literally need to go back to square one and see that the Imagineers that they lost to Universal Studios is one of the reasons why Disney made money. And that's what they need to get back to. They need to find new Imagineers because the Imagineers that they have are literally destroying it. For instance, for you to replace yes, okay, I know that it's a little outdated. The Riverboat of America is a little outdated. I agree. But to replace the entire thing with an off-roading cars adventure that if it's anything like the one in California, it's not going to do well. It's going to bomb like every other ride. Like they've lost literally the magic. They've lost Disney magic. And I don't know at this point how you get it back. Other than maybe hire some of those Imagineers that are like 80 and 90 years old to instruct people that are like my age that just want to bring back Disney magic. At this point, like I've been telling my friends, if you have stock in Disney, take it out, put it in Bitcoin and Universal Studios and YouTube because or Universal because that's where it's going to, and YouTube because that's where it's going to take off. Disney's not going to do well this year. They're going to be lucky to survive this year with their current projective of things. And it's just getting worse. They've really, the things I want to say about Iger are too politically incorrect, but let's just say that I feel like there's too many couch interviews going on behind the scenes in Disneyland. And on that note, we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. So we're going to add this to the stage. After the sprint, guys, I am going to cover some more rants about Hollywood, and I'm going to try to catch up on as many rants, sprints, anything else that I can. I'm not going to cover it all. I've got too much to cover. Besides, we'll just have more for the next time, but we'll scan over it. So I don't know why it did that. There we go. So 20 minutes on the clock. And I will see, actually, we're going to do this. We're going to do 10 minutes on the clock simply because I think we have too much to cover for me to actually be doing 20-minute sprints. So we're going to do 10-minute sprints because we have a lot to cover. And I want to be able to do my client reads and the horoscopes and not like go into a 3-hour read, Gracious. Hey, Kiki La. Hello. How are you, my dear? Since we're jumping into a sprint, I highly recommend going back and just listening to what I just ranted about because not only will it be entertaining for you, but I can feel it. Yes, it is crazy for you right now. Kiki, don't worry. You've got Neptune coming in on your side. So you're going to be good. Okay, Bob Iger is what greed looks like. Here's the thing. Bob Iger didn't used to be that way. Bob Iger, actually, when I worked for Disney, wasn't that bad. I think greed did get a hold of him. Honestly, he didn't used to be like this. And I think my heart actually had faith in Disney when he took back over, but just seeing what has happened. I mean, poor Walt. I mean, seriously, the man is just literally rolling over in his grave. He's doing somersaults at this. He's like, I'm not even doing somersaults. He's like, I'm doing backflip, triple axle somersaults at this point. Like he's like, I can't throw a bigger temper tantrum anymore. I don't need. Anyway, so we're going to do 10 minutes. Then we're going to do rants because we have a lot to go into. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. In 3, 2, 1, and 2. That is the end of that, friends. Okay, so I'm going to finish pulling up the cards for Debbie here because she requested, and I just saw my phone light up again. Debbie, I see you. I see you. I know you're watching on Facebook, and I see you. Okay, so here's your read, hun, because I know you got to go. Okay, I didn't realize that you were going out tonight, and this had to do with tonight. So here you go. Okay, so your first card was, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it's that card in reverse. Then you have Moldavite and in reverse, and then you have Diamond. This is a good thing. So, integrity, solidarity, impeccable, relatable, consistency. Well, yeah, you've had the reverse of all of that. I already know that, but that's where you were. So your second one is Moldavite, however you want to pronounce it. Transformation, rebirth through fire, intuition, opening a new experiences, revitalization, and renewal. Okay, if we're taking the reverse of all that, that means that you're possibly going out with the person you're not supposed to be going out with tonight because it's Venus retrograde and you're not supposed to be going back on old relationships and rekindling old relationships. But he did get the diamond, so let's see what it has to say. The priceless gift of time and pressure combined beauty and strength arising from trials and challenges. The right use of power. Honey. Please learn from your trials and tribulations. Please don't go through another possibility of being left sitting at a bar by yourself with a cold beer. Okay. If you really want to go out, find a friend to go with you. So if he, she, this person does stand you up again, you're not going to be as heartbroken. Okay. And don't call me at 1 o'clock in the morning drunk when you're driving home from the bar, because I will say, I told you so. Okay, because I'm that type of person. I'm not going to tell you what you need to hear or what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear because I'm here to help you become a better person, not repeat behaviors that continue to cause toxicity and damage. Trust me, I've had to break free from some really bad behaviors, okay, and patterns, okay? It's not easy, but you can do it. We've been working on it. What was it? Emotional regulation, distress tolerance, distraction, interpersonal effectiveness. You need to use all 4 of those skills right now. Okay. All right. So then Taylor Swift, because I missed one. I forgot that I had written it down on my little notepad here. I was shocked when it came to this. I was shocked. Taylor Swift, you better watch out, girl. I wasn't wrong. I had been saying that unless Taylor navigates herself correctly, she might get caught up in a whole whirlwind of, and according to the cards, she might have. So we have the 3, and I did a 5 card instead of a 3 card because I just wanted to double check. So, and if you'll notice, the last 2 cards I drew were major arcane cards, which means what she's going through is absolutely unavoidable. There's no changing it. So there's no free will involvement that can change the trajectory of what she's going through right now. So Taylor, please be careful. So you've got the 3 of Cups, then you've got the Sun in reverse, then you've got the Ace of Swords, then you've got the Sun, and then you've got Strength. And honestly, I saw these 2 at the end, but compared to the rest of your reading, it's not good. So here's for the forecast, Brian, for Taylor Swift. Okay. Teacup, 3 of teacups upright, suggests that a time for party, even in the occasions as simple as an unbirthday card, indicates time to get together with friends and family for some fun and bonding, which, if you know what Taylor Swift is going through with the Curtin Blake Baldoni situation, this makes sense because her song was supposed to be in the movie. So the next step we have is the sun in reverse. The sun represents sadness, poor outcomes, and disappointments. Things haven't turned out the way you hoped they would, and now you're feeling discouraged. Remember, cloudy days don't last forever. So that is kind of current situation where she is now. The next one she had was, and there's the proof of the sun. I just realized that. You guys might not believe what I'm reading. Ace of Spears, upright. Represents new ideas and clarity. You have a breakthrough and are feeling inspired to brainstorm plans for your next adventure or move. This is a great time for strategizing. So, considering possibly how she has to navigate, because all of her text messages between her and Blake Lively might be revealed in this discovery aspect. Might be a problem. And this is when the last two cards, when I first saw them, went, oh, and then I remembered that they're only influenced by the other cards, and this is not good, guys. So here's the star. Ready? Encourages you to hold on to your dreams no matter how lofty and out of reach they may seem. Reminds you that positivity and hope will help you manifest your most cherished desires, wishes, and aspirations. And then we have strength, which is the last card of what she will be going through or needing to pull from. And we have when faced with, and here's strength. Okay. When faced with challenges that seem frightening and insurmountable, strength reminds you to stay calm. Acting out of frustration won't help the situation now. Face any obstacles that you encounter with a brave, level-headed collectiveness. If you do, you may just discover that the frightening beast you thought you were up against is no ferocious than a dandelion. And this is what I talked about how hopefully, because of the way she played her cards, Taylor is in a position where she can navigate with just inside about, hey, why don't we just keep my text messages and stuff under wraps? Let's just not reveal all of, because technically what the stuff that I'm referencing to and that the cards are referencing to are not classified under trade secrets. So, and if relationship information if information about her relationship is under trade secrets, then that would mean that the relationship is a contractual agreement. So, and just remember, guys, right now, actions speak louder than words, especially in case filings. And that's actually a perfect segue into something that is regarding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. I have to thank Popcorn Planet for coming out with this. Basically, Ryan Reynolds decided to try to push for the case to be dropped by issuing a submittance to the court for his wife. And here's the thing. When you read through exactly what he said, this filing, there is far more exposed in not only the fact that he filed this order, but what he said in it. And actions speak louder than words, especially in case filings. They're still trying the old PR tactics of attacking the critics and attacking, they're trying to attack the truth to make it seem unreal. And that tactic doesn't work anymore, simply because, and let's remind everybody in case they're not listening, Mars in Cancer, Jupiter in Gemini, Saturn in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, and soon Neptune in Aries will help with that. Pluto in Aquarius. Honey, Ryan, stop trying to fight the big gods. Yes, God is the Almighty God, but we do have other gods underneath God, and they kind of manage the energies of the planets, and they are influencing a lot of things right now. And man, you are just trying to fight against a polarity that is not on your side, and you're going to fail. And my biggest recommendation to Blake or to Ryan at this point is to pull back, let almost separate yourself from the entity, almost remove yourself from the entire narrative if you can. Let Blake, don't, behind the scenes, don't let her fight this on her own, but in the public eye, Blake needs to fight this on her own, because she will take down anybody and everybody who is attached to her. This is another Amber Heard 2.0. Okay. I have been seeing this since day one. It hasn't changed. And frankly, it kind of like another thing that backs another prediction that I made in the Karen Reed case. Cora, this will interest you. One of the officers, oh gosh, did I really forget his name? One of the main officers that was a witness in Proctor, that's his name, Mr. Proctor, has been ejected, basically fired from the police department, which I knew was going to happen after he read his text messages on the stand of what was being communicated between him and his coworkers. I was like, oh, my dad, every male in my family has been in the police force. I know there's certain things that you can't communicate on your devices that. So I found that very interesting, because that goes with my theory that I feel like the police department was trying to cover up something by using and blaming Karen Reed. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go down the list real quick of what I think is important and relevant. The storms, first of all. Oh, actually, first of all, a lot of you are going to be shocked, but I'm doing this for my mom as her birthday present. We are going to go see Snow White on Saturday or Sunday. So I will be giving a review of Snow White. If it wasn't for my mom's birthday and me doing this for my mom, I wouldn't be doing it. You all know how I hate movie theaters. Do I actually go and watch movies? No. Will I sit at home in my big screen TV and watch movies? Absolutely. But since my mom wants to go and see it, and it is being played at our theater here in Spokane, just like Wicked, I will give you guys a review about it. Am I excited to go see it? I honestly can't give you an answer on that. I'm excited to go spend some time with my mom. I don't like ripping things apart. I don't like bashing on things. And there's a part of me that feels like that I'm going to come and walk away from this experience literally saying, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And it's just going to be absolutely disappointing for a lot of you. But that might be the long and short of it. I'm going to do my best. Yeah, I'm here to give warnings, not bashings. And I think it's pretty clear already how bad Rachel Zegler. And this is going to be my problem. I don't know if I can separate my opinion of Rachel from the movie. Normally I can do this. Normally I can separate my opinion of people from their jobs or whatever else. But in this circumstance, I really am struggling to find any sort of good aspect about Rachel to grasp onto in order to see how she could be considered a Disney princess, if not the first Disney princess. And I think that's what I'm struggling with. When Gal Gadot's real character in person matches more with the Snow White personality that I think was supposed to be emulated from the movies, that's just where I stand on that. So I will be going and seeing the Snow White movie. We all saw how Gal Gadot, the cards read for Gal Gadot. So I'm not going to go any more on that. First of all, I know a lot of you in California have been very busy with cleanups and everything else that's been going on. I just also want you to pay attention. The earthquakes have picked up. USGS has now declared a warning or a advisory in regards to a big one. A big one would be equivalent to the San Andreas one that I survived in that I went through in 1989 and experienced myself, that did a lot of damage. They're referencing, though, that this could be actually, with how much pressure is building up, closer to an 8.0. So I just want all of you in California to be very wary and be very, it might be the calm before the storm. So just take heed. The other thing is I already gave my warning about the weather. However, that flow that we referenced, how it's going to go good and then bad, is definitely been doing its thing. We had over like 77 tornadoes on the East Coast. It literally followed the track exactly as I said, from like St. Louis to Alabama, Louisiana, all the way over. The meteorologists are watching for a possible formation as well. During all of this that was happening, they were also watching the possible formation of a hurricane in the Atlantic already. It didn't happen. Luckily, it broke up. However, my angels are referencing that, like, yeah, we were like, when I heard that, my angels literally popped in and were just like, yeah, we've been warning you. This hurricane season's going to be bad. Here's your warning. Like, here's proof. The other thing is, my angels also referenced that the storm that just hit and did all the damage all across the East Coast, that is one of 3 storms that will be hitting the East Coast before June. They're referencing that there will be 2 more just like this before summer, and then the real ramp up will begin. They're referencing the tornadoes in Missouri and St. Louis. First of all, my heart goes out to the people in St. Louis because I have family in St. Louis. So I have a lot of family in St. Louis. From what I understand, everybody is okay. I'll have to double check with my mom, but from what I understand, everybody's and my family is okay. But there was a lot of damage. There was even an F4, possible F5 tornado that touched down. If you haven't been paying attention to the news in the Southeast and the East, I highly advise you to, because I know we are still dealing with snowstorms in the North, but because yes, we just had snow as well. Literally for last weekend on the 15th, we had snow. 14th, 15th, we had snow for Easter, or for the spring break holiday. But this is just the start, guys. It's going to be a horrible weather year. Okay. I'm hearing as much time as we spent indoors for a certain lockdown event, we're probably going to be spending indoor because of weather events this year. And they're referencing that winter next year is not going to be any better. This is kind of, this is going to go down a year as the year of changes in not only politics and emotion and personal lives, but also in weather changes. So just be aware. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the JFK files. All the files were dropped. 80,000 pages were dropped. Go sleuths. I've already been hearing about people who have spent all night going over a lot of the paperwork. I'm eager to keep an ear out. My last stream on Friday, I made predictions about what possibly I saw in regards to what happened with the JFK assassinations. We'll have to see if I'm correct. I am not going to go through it. 80,000 pages is far too. My ADHD, not unless I have a chat, like an AI that literally can scan and just sum it up for me. But that's what I wait for YouTubers to do. So anyway, just know that did happen. That is, from what I'm hearing too from the other side, this is just the beginning of the information dump that's about to begin. From what I'm hearing, part of the agreement was to strategically release the information to coincide other major events going on in the world, kind of like they did with the release of the proof that there were aliens. So at the same time that we start seeing miracles, this is what they're referencing. At the same time that we start seeing miracles happen in the Middle East in regards to peace agreements and ceasefires, we will also hear truth about more information about our government and what it's been doing. So there's a lot. My angels are referencing that coming towards the end of the year, there's going to be a lot of exposure and revelations, because they have just begun. And I'm not surprised. Shout out to Pam Bondi and Carolyn Levitt. I love those two. I have never been so interested in presidential seriously, I've never been so interested in news. Maybe it's my affinity for blondes. I don't know, but I like Carolyn Levitt and just they're the strength. Maybe I'm starting to realize that maybe it's my affinity for strong, dominant, blonde hair, blue-eyed women. But Carolyn Levitt and Pam Bondi, just the way they hold the room, they hold the attention, the way they speak their information. I give them props. They're going up against some really, really, really tough critics, and really, Caroline is the queen of media as far as I'm concerned. So, the next little bit I'm going to get into is Rachel, my little rant on Rachel Ziegler and Snow White. I'm going to continue with that because when I was doing my scanning on it, my angels kept saying, proof is in the pudding, proof is in the pudding. So I went back and I looked again and looked at one of the was it the Park Places, or it was either WDW Pro or the Park Place or one of them. But evidently, not only is Snow White going to be a bomb, not only was her what was it, 2000s or X movie that came out. Yes, she had another movie that came out in December that flopped. She has now been dropped from Blumhouse Productions for the horror movie that she was supposed to do. The last two movies she was in, not only X one, but the one prior to that, completely bombed. She keeps going back to her West Side Story, not realizing that it was a bomb. They lost money on West Side Story. And during the Hunger Games that she keeps referencing, not only was she a new character, but she was the only female like boss lady type at the time. So yeah, it worked. But now she's not only been dropped from the horror movie, but she's also been dropped from Scream 7 as well. And the truth is, this is what I was referencing when I kept warning that it was her mouth. She needed to shut her mouth because evidently she got dropped from all these things because of the way she's been throwing a temper tantrum behind the scenes in regards to how they're handling the advertisement and everything else in regards to Snow White. Because if you didn't know, basically, because she's a ticking time bomb, they won't let anybody interview her. So they've been struggling with that. There's also a couple other things that have been coming up in regards to, hey, the same energies that are blowing the lid and exposing like, hey, you're not all that in a can of Pringles with Rachel Zegler is doing the same thing to Harry and Meghan. And if you haven't heard, not only did Meghan's show bomb, but her podcast bombed. But now they're questioning Harry's citizenship, because if you didn't know this, Meghan actually donated almost $10,000 to a Democratic elect that happened to be on the same approval board for Harry's citizenship. So there's a lot of this, and so there's a lot of things where I'm like, so this is the kind of stuff that Dems are throwing fits about. This is the kind of stuff that they don't want exposed. Okay, I kind of see what's going on behind the scenes here, and they're referencing to me that not only that, but the same kind of maneuvering snaking is happening with that. The maneuvering snaking that they're trying to do happened with Gavin Newsom and Michelle Obama in them trying to create their podcasts. But again, proof is in the pudding. The failure of all three of these podcasts and Meghan's Netflix show. Yes, she got a second season. Guys, she was already agreed to sign on for a second season. They actually filmed all the episodes at once and put it out as 2 seasons. It's the same thing that I'm doing with my episodes of, Psychic to Psycho episode series. Anyway, there's a lot here that's not going to work in regards to how they're trying to maneuver and snake and change their reputations by maneuvering into a different genre. Before, like I said before, if you were in acting, they'd move you into singing and have you produce an album if you screwed up somewhere in the acting, and vice versa. Or they would move you on to stage if you were screwing up too much in this, or if you were maybe screwing too much in movies, they would move you to sitcoms, so on on and so forth. Before there was the internet and the exposure of social media, they were able to navigate the movement and placement of these people in order to make money so that their mouths wouldn't be the problem. That it's not going to work this day anymore. And Gavin Newsom using his podcast to try to rewrite his narrative. Honey, you can't rewrite a narrative that everybody has watched for the past 40 years on a podcast that you control, especially one that looks just as fake as the house that Meghan Markle filmed her Netflix in. I mean, truth be told, the problem with a lot of you in California, and this is coming from somebody who was born and raised there for 35 years, you fake it. You try to fake it too much. Get real with yourselves. None of you are as impressive as you think you are. I'm not even as impressive as I think I am. Okay. I do this because, it's fun. Yeah. Anybody who's in Hollywood has to have a little bit of narcissism, but at this point, it's eating them alive. So on that note, I'm going to switch into the whole Spill Sessions video on Hailey Bieber, because here's the thing. If you guys remember on the last reading that I did, there was something where my angels tried to pull me in regards to Hailey Baldwin Bieber. And I was just like, no, we're doing the Baldwin family. Why are you trying to pull me this way? Well, now I know why. Evidently, a new documentary was released on Hailey Bieber, and it does not look good. But here's the thing. It's not revealing anything new that all of us that grew up in LA in the 2000s didn't already know, okay? Yes, Hailey was obsessed with Justin Bieber. We all kind of thought it was gross because at the time he was still a kid. We're talking, but it wasn't any different than, say, Catherine was about Prince William. She plastered posters on the wall. She would go to all the events. You could see her in the back. But here's another thing. All the girls in Hollywood did it. Kim and Paris and many people, including me, went to house parties just to try to hit on guys. We would literally stalk people at house parties. It's kind of what you did. It's not appropriate anymore because, hello, it's not the 2000s. But in the 2000s, that's what you did. So for this entire documentary to be exposing how Hailey literally hunted down her man, honey, that's how we did it in the early 2000s. We hunted down our men. We didn't have social media. We couldn't hunt online. We had to hunt in person. And frankly, I think it's hilarious because the truth is if Justin didn't want to be with Hailey, Justin wouldn't be with Hailey. Like, I don't understand why all these people, like, he knows the situation he's in. It's very clear to me that he's trying to maneuver his way out. I think he's discovered the truth about Hailey and why she is exactly with him. But here's the thing, guys. That I was giggling to myself because I was just like, so you mean to tell me that the exposing of what all of us girls did, all of us crazy girls, all of us crazy, Cupid arrow hit girls did in the early 2000s because we didn't have social media to go stalking on all these people, now is being exposed in this documentary about Hailey Bieber. I was just like, okay, so is this documentary going to expose how Kim Kardashian did it, how Paris Hilton did it, how Britney Spears did it? Are we going to expose how this is how the paparazzi figured out how to be where people were? Like, hello, how do you think the paparazzi thought that they were okay in stalking people? Like, because they were watching everybody do the same thing at the Soho House, it cracked me up. It was hilarious. So on a happier note, well, kind of happy, not so happy, but on a little distraction note, because as I listen to all this stuff throughout my day, I do like to add in a little bit of, just because I have DBT skills, mindfulness, distraction type stuff to get me to kind of not be so overwhelmed with social energies. I have to thank the Big Bear Society for having a video camera or a nature camera on the bald eagles, Shadow and Jackie. And all you have to do is type into YouTube, bald eagles, Shadow and Jackie. They have a video of the nest. And I have literally enjoyed, even though there's been some sad things, I have literally enjoyed watching these two birth 3 beautiful eggs and even lose an eaglet, but for the most part, bringing into the world 2 amazing, healthy, strong eaglets. And it is the cutest thing ever to watch this male-female couple just work together. It's so I highly recommend it if you kind of need one of those where it's nature sounds and, you know, just relaxing, because they do. You can hear them talking to each other. You can hear the eaglets talking. You can hear the wind blowing. It's absolutely beautiful. And I highly recommend it. And I just want to say thank you to them, because it has been that one thing that has been definitely my breather moment in the chaos and drama of everything that's been going on in this world. So on that note, we're going to jump into our last 10-minute sprint, and then we'll be going over all of our horoscopes and I am going to cover Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, since we missed covering Wednesday on Monday. Okay. So I'm going to put the clock up. We're going to mute. We're going to rewind and unmute, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes. In 3, 2, 1. And don't forget. That's the end of that sprint. If I could push the right button. Okay, so I have Chandler's and Alex's tarot card readings to do first, and then I will be doing horoscopes. So for those who are new here, the way we do horoscopes, first of all, if you want a reading, follow the little banners below, or the information is in the more section down below, or even at the beginning of the YouTube. There's even an opening screen to explain how you can pay to get a reading. For horoscopes, I'm going to start with Aries and then go all the way through. I do cover Scorpio at the end simply because I am a Scorpio, and if I try to do Scorpio in the middle, my angels bring in messages and it just discombobulates me. So first, Chandler, we have your work reading in regards to work. So you got the 10 of hedgehogs. We've got a lot of coins tonight. The 8 of hedgehogs and the 2 of flowers, and only one was in reverse. So we've got and from what I can see, this is absolutely within your control, so you need to be aware of that. So 10 of hedgehogs represents wealth, satisfaction, and sustained success, which, yes, absolutely, I would have to say that you are, Chandler. Tarot card also symbolizes a happy, stable home and supportive family. So that's where you currently are. Your next card was the 8 of hedgehogs in reversed. So we've got indicates that you're not spending your energy wisely. Either you're feeling bored with the monotony of the mundane task, or you're focusing too much on details at the expense of the bigger picture. So you are micromanaging, basically. This is your angel's reference that you are micromanaging too much. Which might be why you're a little bit too miserable. You might need to, if you find yourself, okay, and this is, wow, this is from them. Your angels are referencing that if you're finding yourself micromanaging too much, you might need to look at who you're delegating to, and you might have to change who you're delegating the objects to if you're micromanaging too much, or find somebody who can manage the team better than you can so that you don't have to micromanage the team. The 2 of flowers upright is your last card, and it says you're in the beginning stages of manifesting a goal that you're very excited about, which might be why you're micromanaging. While you may be ignoring out of the detail and figuring out how to make your dreams a reality, this card signs that things are on the right track. So I think if you're looking for stress, basically you're on the right track. But if you're looking for stress reduction, your angels are bringing in that it might be the micromanaging that's actually causing you the stress. If you're dealing with a company as big as Disney, looking at the day-to-day expenses of the finances often can overwhelm you. Leaving that to somebody else can actually help you look at the bigger picture of the company and be able to focus on the overall outcome instead of the little details. That's your angels are referencing that for you to be able to have, you're headed the right direction, but to be able to move forward without stress, stop with the micromanaging. Figure out a way to delegate. Okay, and then Alex, this was in relationships. We had Smithsonite, Selenite, Amalcanite, and that's the order. This is the order it was in. Okay, so 51. So we've got rebirth from chaos, evolution, stress relief, emotional boost, clearing of obstacles of growth. From what I can see, Alex, this means that your renewal ritual for the new moon and the full moon are working, and considering that you started. So if you're planning an Ostara ritual for rebirth and regrowth, this is your sign that you're doing the right thing. Then you had 49 selenite, liquid light, fluidity, flexibility, illumination, and clarity, raising your vibrations. So I highly recommend that you do an Ostara ritual for your forward path. And your last card is clarity of thought and emotions, the right use of intellect, integrating thought and intuition. Wow. So if this is, you're referencing this is in regards to a relationship. I'm wondering if this is in regards to your interpersonal relationships, like your yourself, relationship with self, because not only would that be lining up with what the influences are of the planets right now, but that also lines up with the card reading. So I need to get clarity from you on that, Alex. If you can text me eventually, was this about a loving, intimate relationship or a personal, like an interpersonal relationship? So there's for that. Now we're going to go over horoscopes. This is going to be for Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. I'm going to start with Wednesday and then move on through for each sign. And this is what takes the most energy. So let me get comfortable here real quick. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so like I said, we start with Aries, we go on through Scorpios, we leave for last. Also, I throw in dialectical behavioral skills. If you don't know what dialectical behavioral therapy is, I highly recommend you looking it up, because those are the skills that I reference in regards to managing these energies. Sandy, hello, Sandy. It's good to see you, my dear. Okay, so for my Aries, on Wednesdays, today's, we had deep emotions and intuitive energies with the need for imagination and creative, procrastinating but extremely active imaginative energies, procrastinating mental energies, but active imagination energies. Past matters can bubble to the surface by the end of the day. I should have taken a drink before I started talking. That's why I brought it over in front of me. Okay. Mindfulness and self-soothe toward the end of the day. On Thursday, a focus on personal influences and soul searching will come into focus because of Neptune's shift. Neglected spiritual and emotional needs will come into focus as well towards the midday. Encouraging energies and goals and needs with strong, indecisive energies. It's best to notice and make plans than actual changes during this time, Aries. On Fridays, you have strong mental and intellectual energies, great relationship building energies with humility and confidence coming into the midday, appealing and appreciative energies with the ability to see layers to situations, and spontaneity from the moon brings in re-energizing energy by the end of day on Friday for you. For my Tauruses, for Wednesdays, we've got a strong need for friendship and connections. A strong need for friendship and connections comes into focus. Deceiving and illusionist type energies come in midday. Watch for deceptive behaviors of others. Stimulation and assessing type energies, especially in the dreams and long-term plans departments, comes in end of day for you Tauruses on Wednesday today. Into tomorrow, we've got healing and restful and forgiving type energies. And this is the month-long Neptune energy for you. Good energies to tie up the loose ends and let go of the old and useless. Strong intuitive and psychic energies, especially with difficulties in observations from others' perspectives. This can come in with competitive undertones by the end of day. So be mindful of your interactions with others, and if need be, use interpersonal skills instead of fighting with others. As I've told Cora before, internal dialogue. Friday, strong social and connecting energies, especially in deep conversations and networking, comes in. Involving and absorbing type energies, especially in current projects and ideas, comes in midday. Strong organizing energies in financial and Monday with problem-solving undertones, especially in thoughts and difficult matters by the end of Fridays. So for your Tauruses, if you have any difficult situations that you've been trying to muddle through, you're going to have the best energies Friday afternoon to be able to get through them. Other than that, you just have very perspective-oriented energies during this cycle to be able to tie up loose ends. Use it to your advantage. Okay. Rewarding and dream-oriented energy. Oh, yeah. For my Geminis, forgot to name the sign. For my Geminis, rewarding and dream-oriented energies come in on Wednesdays with an underlying pull towards peacemaking. Responsibility and lesson-oriented energies comes in midday with the ability to connect to your intuition. Aligning and illuminating energies with detail-oriented mental energies comes in by end of day. Spiritual longing and introspective energies come in with basically, this spiritual longing and introspective energy is your month-long energy that's going to last because of Neptune. On Thursday, for you Geminis, we've got focus and attention-oriented energies with a focus on networking and friendships. Enlightening and influential energies come in friendships groups with a strong connecting and social undertones. Be careful of self-esteem and strong ego boost towards end of day. Use this to your advantage, not to manipulate. Okay, Geminis. On Friday, you've got confident and connecting energies, especially in partnerships in the morning. Strong urge to find the depth and in belonging in situations can bring up past emotions during midday, so be mindful. Strong focus on interpersonal feelings, emotions, and ideas of the long term. Energy for clarity and conversations comes in end of day. You're going to be fighting a lot with your own personal thought process for the long-term goals, Geminis. So just be mindful, self-destruct if needed, and self-soothe. What were the other ones that were? Emotional regulation and distress tolerance if need be. Okay. For my Cancers, we've got today we've had strong, fanciful, and imaginative type energies with the ability to embrace with compassion. Learning and inspirational energies as well, allowing for new perspectives. Taking untraditional routes and matters will benefit you today with powerful connecting energies, especially in spirit and divine, that comes in at the end of the day. On to Thursday, you've got strong, visible, and notice me type energy, attention and powerful energies in careers and responsibilities comes into focus. Strong social and ego-oriented energies with a strong pull towards duties and responsibilities comes in midday. Focus on what you can control, let go of what you can't in order to navigate best. Pride-filled energies come in by end of day, so be careful of being egotistical. On Friday, you've got overwhelming and stressful energies with the ability to negotiate, cooperative but confusing energies and conversations. So let situations figure themselves out. Don't push on Friday. Thoughtful and meaningful energies with the ability to mend situation with harmonization comes in by end of day. This is why they're referencing that during the midday on Friday, Cancers, let situations figure themselves out, because if they don't, you'll have the harmonizing energy at the end of the day to fix anything that happened during the week. Okay. For my Leos, on today, we've had the yearning and inspirational energies to connect with the divine with underlying relationship and financial focus. Unfulfilling and depressing intimate energies do come in as well, with confusion and dissatisfying energies in finances and resources, so be careful. Illuminating and renewing or new beginning type energies do come in by end of day to help with this. On Thursdays for my Leos, impatient, pushing, and overwhelming energies with the need for adventure and something new comes in. Revamping and energetic type energies, especially in new experiences and freedoms, with a focus on the bigger picture and the ability to dismiss the unsatisfying. So basically, you're going to be weeding out the pieces that don't fit, okay, my Leos, for the net on Thursdays and Fridays. Strong energies and focusing and sharing do come in by end of day. On Fridays, you've got strong energies in communication and listening with the ability to understand and be understood, which is not often easy for my Leos, so use this to your advantage. Be aware of retrograde, though, in all communications and connections, and use interpersonal skills when need to. Intense and discovery type energies with the ability to see layers does come in with by the end of day with encouraging undertones. Okay, so we've got good news for you, Leos. For my Virgos, Wednesdays, we've got imaginative and creative energies, especially in relationships and partnerships, with the ability to rid of influences that no longer serve you. Watch for misinterpretation in communications, especially with the magical and overwhelming energies that you have to be able to recognize lacking areas in your life. Don't overwhelm yourself with things that are missing. Okay, this is when we're going to need to use distress tolerance and mindfulness. Okay, Virgos. Reassessing and new beginning type energy does come in by the end of day, especially in the relationship and connections department. On Thursday, you have a yearning for depth and closure in interpersonal relationships with a strong understanding and perspective-oriented energies that will help you to motivate you to make changes. The ability to bend and share, especially in partnerships, does come in midday with a focus on finances and resources by the end of day. On Fridays for my Virgos, you've got good and fair energies, especially in relationships, with satisfying undertones, especially in social connections and communications. Understanding and revisiting energies, especially in personal needs and depths, comes into focus by end of day. Watch for old emotions that may bubble to the surface and cause problems for you Virgos on Friday, okay? For my Libras, we've got a strong need for your sense of purpose that comes in and to locate your place in the cosmos today. Strong urges in satisfying emotion and spiritual needs with the reconsiderating and revising type energies, especially in habits and methods. Strong, aimless, and unsatisfying energies do come in with midday. So remember to self-soothe, self-distract, distress tolerance, and distraction for the rest of the day. On Thursdays for my Libras, you've got to focus on balance in partnerships and relationships, strong, influential, and inspirational energies, especially in the social sector, with a want and need for to balance the imbalances. Strong, restoring, and changing energies do come in with the ability to compromise in conversations by end of day. For my Libras on Friday, strong focus on the emotional, strong instincts in relationships and financials by midday, encouraging energies in connection and learning with a strong undertone to pull towards problem solving, especially in the difficult areas by end of day. So Libras, you're just going to be spending the next 3 days literally doing the balance like you always do with those two wonderful little weights, okay? For my Sagittariuses, you guys got good energy. Strong focus on emotions, heart and home, strong connecting and imaginative type energies, especially in your personal life. Problem-oriented energies with a negative undertone does come in, especially as perspective-oriented ideals. This is not a good time for communications, especially in your social department. Interpersonal effectiveness, distraction, and self-soothe, radical acceptance is going to be needed for end of day. For my Sagittarius is on Thursday, you've got creative, romantic, and intuitive energies with underlying lighthearted and playfulness undertones. Self-expressive and affectionate-filled energies, especially in your social sector, come in strong with a revitalizing old and forgotten with the ability to revitalize old and forgotten projects. Emphasis on emotional wants and needs does come in by the end of the day for you on Thursdays. On Fridays, we've got strong energies and interpersonal communications with the ability to make improvements in relationships. There is complication in relating to others in general with pleasing energies in love and intimacy sector, but this is only in those broader circles. Basically, from what I'm trying to say here is basically the complicated energy comes in for everyone else except for those in your tight circle. Productive and cooperating energies with the pleasant ability to focus and self-soothe with ease comes in end of day for you Sagittariuses. For my Capricorns, learning and sharing type energies, especially in projects and communications, was the start of today. Illuminating mental engagement with underlying aligning energies does come in midday with the deeper understanding of interpersonal relationships and strong connective energies. A need for imaginative and whimsical by the end of day can adjust expectations and expressions of self. Let me reread that. A need for imagination and whimsical can adjust expectations and expressions of self by end of day. So Capricorns, you're going to start the weekend off a little bit headstrong and stubborn, but you're definitely going to have a shift of energies. Because on Thursday, a focus on home and family comes in strong with investing undertones. A focus on security and family relations takes forefront with reconnecting and revitalizing and revisiting energies, especially in oneself, with ability to draw upon inner peace and comfort. Strong energies in securing stability in your personal life by end of day. On Friday, you've got strong expressive and willingness energies, especially in communications, with strong problem-solving undertones, especially in a desire for peace in domestic and personal. Progressive and healing type energies, especially in conversations, comes in for you by end of day. Capricorns, if you're starting or trying to start a relationship, which you can poke your nose around to invest on a relationship, like the talking point, but don't actually jump into a relationship yet because of Venus retrograde. Capricorns, you're actually going to have great energies this weekend to be able to do so. Aquariuses, Wednesday, we started off with steady, strong, and grounded energies with underlying focus on dreams and fantasies. Creative, inspiring energies with an illumination on your dreams, both positive and negatives, depending on who you are. Okay, we've got improving and focused energies on past projects and pursuit with underlying tension in wanting new perspectives by end of day. For my Aquarius is on Thursday, you've got strong energies in communications and connections, learning and advancing and intrigue wanting energies, especially in communications and connections. Priorities, pride filled and interesting energies comes into focus, especially in connections and projects with the ability for new developments by end of day. Reconnecting and yearning for depth and connections starts off your morning on Friday with strong energies to share ideas and expand connections and projects and pursuits. You've got strong motivating and understanding type energies that do come in by end of day, especially in forgotten projects and work pursuits. For my Pisces, on Wednesday, you've got naturally comfortable and pleasant energies with a positive, upbeat undertone, favorable energies for wishes and dreams to be granted, idealistic and compassionate energies with a strong focus on self, ideas, and dreams. Inspirational and imaginative energies do come in by end of day. On Thursday, you've got practical, stabilizing, and investing energies with a strong focus on self, motivation to build resources and financial connections with the ability to discover and explore, especially in the worths and talents departments by midday. Stabilizing energies, especially in the home department, comes in by end of day. A focus on Friday, we have a focus on your focus turns to concerns, duties, and responsibilities. Forgive me. Let me start over. Friday, you've got to focus on concerns, duties, and responsibilities that comes in with cooperating and appealing energies, especially in interpersonal connections. Strong listening, learning, and understanding energies with strong financial undertones does come in by end of day. So for my Pisces, if you haven't gotten your taxes done, Friday might be a good day to do them. Okay. Oh, I've got a hair that is tickling. Don't do that. Okay. And for my Scorpios, last but not least, on Wednesday, we had harmonizing and boosting energies with strong teaching and advising undertones, amplification of dreams with a focus on neglected needs, strong romantic, creative, and imaginative energies with strong urges for magic and kinship. Motivating and attracting energies in self can bring in positive experiences by end of day. On Thursday, we've got your work and health comes into focus with re-advising of health routines and self-care aspects. Strong motivational energies in health and well-being with a strong desire to change unhealthy routines comes into focus by midday. Scheduling, reorganizing, and changing energies comes into focus with a need to simplify by end of day. On Friday, we've got humble, natural, and confident energies with a strong reconnecting undertones. Strong energies in work and goal pursuits comes in for you midday. Best to focus on needs of self rather than that of others to best navigate the energies on Friday. Easygoing and steady emotional energy does come in at end of day for us Scorpios. So as you can see, it's kind of one of those fun, hilly, depending on who you are. There's going to be a lot of emotional regulation, distress tolerance, interpersonal effectiveness, radical acceptance of others. There's going to be a lot of DBT skills that are going to be used in the next 3 days, simply because for some of us, Neptune moving into a new sign is good. For others, not so much. Also, Sagittarius moon. For some of us, it throws a wrench in our abilities. For others, it doesn't. It all depends on who you are. So that is the end of this stream. We've hit our 2-hour mark. Just a quick once over for those of you that are curious, since we do shift into a new moon or new sun tomorrow, I will be covering that on Friday's stream. I have it lined up. And we'll try to cover the Celtic tree month that shifted as well, since we did shift into the tree month of Alder, I believe today or tomorrow. Yesterday. We shifted yesterday. So we're a little behind on things. This is what happens when we have a fun, drunken, drinky, fun stream. So a couple of announcements of things that are coming up. We do have Beltane coming up in April. In May, we have my rebirthing party with Cinco de Mayo. We might be changing that because I've come to realize that maybe doing a drinky drink stream on Monday, the start of my work week, not the best idea. I did recover well, but I'd like to give myself an extra day if I can. So we might be changing that, but we are going to have a rebirth celebration. And then in June, we have Lilith that's coming up. So that's just a couple of little things. Cora and I need to discuss Lottie because that is still coming up. We just obviously she's been dealing with sickness. We are dealing with birthdays now. Things have just been crazy. Touching base on things has just been difficult. So on that note, we're going to say, first of all, thank you to everyone who's come in, who has watched, who spent their time with me and interacted. I appreciate it. To my rewatch crew, thank you so much. I do see those numbers and I really appreciate it. To all my clients, let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to me. You know how to do it. To any new clients or new perspectives, go ahead and reach out to me in my social medias. On that note, there was a Chris Daily or something like that sent me a message in Facebook that the start of the message said, "I like your videos. Please message me again." My phone deleted it. I saw it. I went back in to read it. It's gone. I wanted to respond to you. If you get my message here, please message me again. On that note, thank you. Remember to like, subscribe, do the YouTube things, share this out. I would love to help more people. The more people we can help, the better off this world will be. So raise your glasses as we do our closing cheers. May your angels be strong. May your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys next time.